Yes, it's true. I played Deadpool VR. And so in this video, I want to talk about my experience playing the game and answer some questions that you probably have about it. Like, how dope was it? Is it worth getting? Should I shell out money for this thing? I'm going to go over all of that and more in this video. But here's the thing. We need to start by explaining that I don't even exactly know why I got invited to this thing. Don't get me wrong. It was awesome, and I'm grateful for it, and I did love the game, but I'm not really a gaming YouTuber, right? I'm more of like a Marvel Cinematic Universe YouTuber. Maybe they were just trying to branch out to other people, or maybe they just totally screwed up and I got invited by accident. I don't do a lot of brand deals in general, and I have never been to one of these events like this, even though I have been invited to them in the past. For whatever reason, I decided to go to this one, and I ended up having a blast, and I did end up enjoying this game quite a bit. But you should keep that in mind. I mean, they paid for me to go out there. I had a really good experience, and so even though I genuinely did enjoy the game, just keep in mind that they did pay for my trip out there. So at some level, even if I'm not conscious of it, I'm probably more apt to enjoy the game and enjoy the experience. With that said, let's get into it. I don't even know how good this video is going to do because, again, I'm not a gaming channel, but hey, let's give it a shot. So I was kind of blown away by this thing, genuinely, and I want to talk about why. I'm not a big VR guy. I've played some VR in the past, and like most gamers, I acknowledge that VR is the future, and eventually we're going to be doing Ready Player One stuff. It's going to be absolutely incredible. But I've been a person that hasn't been super attracted to the VR stuff that's currently out there, and I find a lot of the experiences to be a little bit janky. This is probably the first time I've put on a VR headset in a long time, and it was the MetaQuest. That's another thing to keep in mind. This is a MetaQuest exclusive. It's exclusive to that VR platform. And I'm just trying to set the table here because I'm sure a lot of people that do VR often are not going to find some of the stuff that I found to be cool, novel at all. But if you're a person like me that hasn't been doing a lot of VR over the past couple of years, it will probably shock you at how far the tech has come. So let me first talk about the gameplay loop, the mechanics of the actual game. Then I'll talk about the Marvel flavor, the comic book stuff, because the thing is, the way those two things come together for Deadpool VR is actually pretty awesome. It makes it really cool. There's a bunch of basic VR stuff, interacting with objects, looking around to experience the world your own way. And again, this isn't going to surprise VR people, but to me, it was pretty shocking. I was like, damn, this is like really crazy. I get a sense of actual motion. I literally feel plugged into this world. It was nuts. But where Deadpool VR really shines is its exact gameplay loop and the sandbox of action that it gives you, the player, to play it. You get a basic kit of weapons, which is pretty standard and most Deadpool fans would recognize. Your 250 cals, your 2 katanas. Eventually you unlock other things like the grapple gun and the grenades, but it's how all of these weapons come together in that sandbox that's truly unique. Deadpool VR allows you to kill enemies any way you want, and you get really creative and you're incentivized to do so. You can do stuff like stab an enemy in the head with the katana, rip the head off, and throw the head off of the katana to hit a different enemy and stun them. You can throw your katanas to skewer enemies against the wall. You can use your katanas to chop off limbs. You can use your katanas to literally deflect bullets. It's actually like super cool the way you can deflect bullets. You can throw your guns at an enemy, bounce the gun off of them, stun the enemy with the hit, jump into the air, grab the gun, and blast them in the head. Like, there's almost no limit to the combination of things you can do with each and every weapon. And this also includes taking enemy weapons. So you can stab an enemy, grab their gun, blast them, blast other people, and the weapon variety is awesome. Like, I really enjoyed the shotguns, being able to just jump around and blast like that. There's a laser pointed sniper rifle, which is really fun to try to take long distance shots while you're running on a wall. And it seems like there's even more weapons than what we were able to play with at the demo, because in the trailer you can see Deadpool using a bow and arrow, seemingly from a hand ninja. And I don't know how well it comes across in the trailer, but this combat is super crazy, very fast, and just incredibly fun. It actually reminded me a lot of Quake or Unreal Tournament. It's very fast twitch. You can jump all around, a lot of aerial fighting, and all of that within the framework of VR, where you're actually leaning around, looking at different things, grabbing your guns off your hip, blasting at other enemies, throwing your swords, jumping into the air, kicking enemies in the face, stabbing them, throwing their limbs at other enemies. It's like truly chef's kiss. Like, I'll be real, guys. I was ready to walk away from this presentation and be like, okay, yeah, that was chill, but I don't know how good I can speak of this thing, I was genuinely blown away. This is an experience. It reminds me of some really novel arcade games that I've played that had like a bunch of motion sensors and allow you to really feel dynamic in the action. I just think it's what VR is supposed to be, and they picked a perfect character with a lot of fun aspects from comics, but also just weapons and the kit. I mean, it's just a great gameplay loop. Like literally, you don't even have to get fancier than that. Just this loop in and of itself is fun enough to, in my opinion, warrant a lot of time spent playing this thing. But now let's talk about the Marvel side of this game, because this really surprised me as well. This game has sweaty comic book references, and just speaking to the people that we spoke to that made the game, you can tell these people are big time comic book fans. Trust me, you can tell. I spent time with them. We went to lunch. We talked about different comic book runs, inspiration, aspects from the comics that they love. And dude, I'm just telling you, you can tell. If you know, you know, this shit was made by some true nerds. True comic book aficionados. There's a bunch of lore teases that really excite me, and I can't wait to see more of what's actually going on in this world. Now, it's a unique universe. It's not the comics universe. It's not the movie universe. It's a unique version of Marvel, the Marvel VR maybe universe or something like that. But the characters are very comic book inspired. So there's the actual flag smasher, not like that lady from Falcon and the Winter Soldier that Sam Wilson said you should have empathy for at the end of that show. No, I'm talking like the real ass flag smasher, hard as nails, total fascist. He's crazy and he's in the game. Lady Deathstrike's in the game. Mephisto's in the game. Mojo's in the game. Hand ninjas are in the game, and Omega Red is in the game. And they teased us even more, guys. Like, I don't know for sure who's going to show up, but they teased some really fun stuff in the game. And again, within that sandbox, there were several people I was thinking about. I was thinking about Spiral connected to the Mojoverse, and also, holy crap, would that be an incredible boss to fight in this exact kit? One of the first people you meet in the game is Cornelius. Abraham Cornelius, the guy that creates Weapon Plus. So the Easter eggs, the weapon designs, the character designs, and the characters that they selected just feel so Marvel comic. But on top of that, the way they utilize Deadpool's comic book powers is really interesting within this whole kit. There's a part of the game where you're just Wade's head on a table, and you have to control your body to like come over and get your head, which is totally a Deadpool thing. There were other parts during the demo where like I got my hands blasted off, and you literally look down at your hand and you've got a little baby Deadpool hand. It's hilarious. It's fun. It just feels immersive and like a way to take that Marvel Comics love and put it into this whole environment or system. I truly think it's the way those two things come together that make it like damn near perfect for a fan like me. I love gaming, but I also love experiences. Like a lot of gaming these days feels like it's more of the same. And there's so many Souls games. There's so many card games. There's so many RTS games. A lot of these games feel like clones of other games. It's not often that I get a truly novel experience in gaming, and I didn't know that I would get that with VR or with Deadpool VR, but I did. It was incredible. I cannot fucking wait to play more of this. But I guess that brings us to the obvious question. Like, is this something you should consider getting? Who is this for? What should you do? Josh, are you going to tell us to go out and get it and stuff like that? So I'll break it down like this, man. I think if you have a MetaQuest, it's a no-brainer. I think it's absolutely a no-brainer. You definitely need to get this. Like, need to get this. Maybe if you were planning on getting a MetaQuest for some other reason and you were looking for just the cherry on top or like one other reason just to push you into that purchase, this is a great thing. That's like a great example of that. Like if I was in the market for a VR headset and I was looking at this and I was looking at other models and then I realized how dope the Deadpool game is, I'd probably lean towards the MetaQuest, and maybe that's something they're trying to do at Meta. If you're a Deadpool super fan and you have a lot of disposable income, I would say for sure get this. You won't regret it. Now, the one thing that they couldn't answer for me is like how long is the actual campaign, right? So that's kind of hard to like talk about the value proposition when you don't know the length. But the way I'm kind of viewing the VR thing is like, regardless of how long it is, it's like a great arcade game. You'd want to play it over and over again. And truly, the actual experience of playing it is the draw, right? So you get a lot out of it, even if the campaign is relatively short. But if you're not really into VR, if you don't have a lot of disposable income, I just don't know. I can't sit up here and honestly tell you, I think it's worth justifying getting a MetaQuest to get Deadpool VR, unless you're one of the other people I mentioned in this video. But I will make a caveat to that, and that is that I think this particular development team is really cooking some crazy stuff, man. They were the same team that made the Batman VR game, which apparently is absolutely incredible and I want to check out, especially after playing this Deadpool game. And so I believe what MetaQuest is doing is setting up a really nice library of content for people that enjoy VR gaming. And from what I understand, and I'm not really like into the space or whatever, but from what I understand, they're absolutely killing it. And this game is a jewel in that crown of content they're trying to create. The game comes out later this year. I'm going to play it. I'm going to make maybe a video. I'm definitely going to try to play it on stream so I can show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Because again, it is really fun, dude. Like, it's a really fun time. So there you go. I don't know how this video will do. I don't really do gaming stuff, but they invited me. It's awesome. Figured I'd make a video about it. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video.